Okay, I'm going to see if I can explain book folding. You need a book, obviously, a pair of scissors, a mechanical pencil, a bone folder, and a ruler. The ruler I have is called an Inco ruler, and it has really, really small holes in there so that you can get your measurements a little bit more precise. But a regular ruler will work. You don't have to have that. And then you also need a pattern. And I'm going to show you the different types of folds that there are. There is just a measure, mark, and fold where you don't do any cutting at all. That's the first one I started off with, and that's what I recommend that you do. And this was a simple heart. This book wasn't even large enough. I didn't get to finish my heart. I just was practicing to see if I wanted to do it. So you can see each page has a mark that I marked from my pattern, and then it's just folded over at a 90-degree angle. And you do that for every page, and when you're done, you have your heart. So that is just a measure, mark, and fold. There's no cutting involved in that. The next one is, I'll show you, this is the pattern right here for family, and it's got little circles for frames. This is the book right here. And I folded every page back 180 fold is what they call it, but it's just folding every page back 1 centimeter. I did that prior to making any of my cuts. So then I go back and just follow the pattern. And if it tells me to make a mark and 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 a mark, and then you go through and cut at your marks and fold back every other tab. That makes my pattern what they call inverted. In this pattern, everything that is black is inverted because I folded in every other tab starting with the second one. I could have made this an outie by folding in the other tabs. I would have folded in this one and left this one out, folded in this one, left this one out, and so on. But obviously that wouldn't work for this pattern because if this is going to be holding pictures, it needs to be inverted. So I'll show you another one that I did. I hate getting right in front of the camera to grab this stuff. This is the pattern where part of it is, this was part of it is inverted, and this part is all standing out. And this is how this looks. You can see this is all out and the words are inverted. And the way that you do that is the exact same way, except that you go through it twice. You go through and do all of the marking for the out part and all of the folding for the out part, and then you go through it again and do all of the marking and folding for the inverted part. And then there is what's called a shadow fold, and this is the pattern. All of the black is going to be inverted. But on a shadow fold, you only do every other page. Now this one I did the 180 fold where I folded back 1 centimeter. But when I started my marking here, let me put a piece of colored paper behind that so you can see it better. I made my marks and I folded them in just like before. And then on the next page, I didn't do anything except my 180 fold. So on a shadow fold, you do every other page. I folded, I didn't do anything. And that gives you a little bit more of a subtle pattern or picture image when you're finished, but it's kind of cool looking. And you don't have to do the 180 fold at the beginning. It's just I prefer to. Okay, and another thing, this is the one we're going to start, and this is my pattern. So everything you see that's black is going to be inverted. And it tells you that you need 459 pages. So you want to center your pattern in your book. So to do that, you go to the back of the book, and you find out how the last page that's numbered on this one is 516. And then I only have these 2 pages left, and I never count this last leaf. And then you find what the first one is, and the first page that's numbered in this one is actually, this is page 2, this is page 1. So I still have, you count each side, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not counting this one. So I had 516 as my number, and I add 10 as 526. And then I subtract the number of pages that's needed, and whatever I get left over, I divide by 2. And then I start my folding on that page so that my pattern is centered in the book. So on this one, I started 23 pages in, I believe. And my pattern tells me my first mark needs to be at, and your pattern just tells you exactly where to make your folds. This one is 14.2 and 14.6. So I laid my ruler down on the edge of my page, and I made my mark at 14.2 and 14.6. And I have my 2 marks. And then I do like 10 pages at a time. And then I go back and I take my scissors. I usually lay my phone down on there to keep those pages out of my way. And then on my scissors, I have a mark in at 1 centimeter in. And then I go through and I find my mark and I line my mark on my scissors up to the edge of the page, and I cut and I cut. And I do that for those 10 pages. And then I fold in. Now this one only has 1 fold, but I would do every other one. So like this one I skip, and then I do this one. This one I'd skip. If I had another one, I would do it. And you can take your bone folder and smooth it down if you want. Sometimes I just use my fingernails and fold it over. And you do this for every page, and your pattern will start to form. And we'll do these. I'll do a little bit, and then I'm going to get to where I have more marks. Let's go to where I have more cuts. Okay, so like up in here, you can see I've got 4 marks. So I would do the same thing. Skip the first one, fold over the second one, and skip this one, and fold over the next one. and your pattern just starts to take shape. And I mean, on this one you can tell this is gonna be the cross, and this is fixing to be the flag up here. But that's basically all there is to it, and it really doesn't take as long as you might think it takes. It's fairly easy to do. It's fairly relaxing, and you can do it while you watch TV, and you end up with some pretty cool patterns. And I just think it's fun to see the pattern emerge as you do 10 pages at a time. So anyway, that's all I can tell you about book folding at this point. But if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.